Welcome back. President Trump is threatening to pull federal funding from New York City after Governor Kathy Hochul endorsed socialist Zohran Mamdani in the Big Apple's mayoral race. Writing on Truth Social, Washington will be watching this situation closely. No reason to be sending good money after bad. New York City's budget relies on $7 billion in federal funding. That's more than 6% of the city's total spending. Here's Governor Hochul responding to the president.
This is not an idle threat. Understand that I, as governor, have some influence on what happens across the state, and I will use that influence to make sure that New York is a safe, secure place, and that our policies support our values. And I can get there with Zohran Mamdani, which is why I endorsed him.
Okay, so we are safe in Kathy Hochul's hands. That's what she's saying. But Charlie, you've said if he wins, Mamdani, the commie, that we got to tear this city down, kind of take the punches in order to rebuild it up.
I said more than that. I said let him win.
Right.
And let this place that's going there anyway, inexorbitantly, it's moving. Nobody's going to stop it. Even if by some stroke of luck Curtis Sliwa got elected, nobody is stopping the leftward movement of this city and state into the abyss of progressivism. It's just, it is. And I think the only way to stop it is to prove once and for all, okay, you want it, here it is. And the most gross example of that would be Mr. Mamdani. I would like to know how much of that federal money is discretionary. Obviously, some of it, you got to send it. But I don't understand why Trump has to send money to Kathy Hochul if she's doing stupid stuff.
I agree.
Like endorsing a communist to run the epicenter of capitalism, or at least what was the epicenter of capitalism.
He's been threatening this for some time. New York was a sanctuary city.
Yes.
During the Biden administration. We brought in all of these people. We took care of them. And we dealt with the...
Put them in hotels.
We really took care of them. And we dealt with the consequences of that. And so Mayor Adams has started to right the ship a little bit. You feel the city is cleaner. You feel that it's a little bit safer. Yeah, I'll take a hair over what
maybe
we
not
had.
Cleaner, but safer.
But now he's saying, you know, if you're going to defund the police and do all these things that you're saying you're going to do, well, you're not going to get money from Big Papa.
Yeah, well, look, I think Big Papa will stop sending money, but even more dramatically, the local tax base is going to move out of here. I forget who it was. Somebody declared Mamdani the Palm Beach Realtor of the Year. And if he wins...
Ron DeSantis.
It was Ron DeSantis, yes. Exactly right. Palm Beach Realtor of the Year. Look, if he wins, people are going to pack up and go out of here. Get out of here. They're going to move to Palm Beach, move to Miami, move to Nashville, move to Texas, and that's serious stuff.
How about Connecticut? You know, I just bought a house in Connecticut.
Did you? Well, congratulations.
We know.
That's why he doesn't care if it's a city,
Connecticut.
goes to heck.
But Brian is strangling the city financially in that way. You know, it's going to be hurt enough by the policies. It's going to be hurt enough by the flight of capital. Yeah. So now you take the federal funding away and you really put a chokehold around it. Now I think it's an effective way to prove a point, but some of us can't leave. Yeah. We're stuck here.
Right. Well, you know, one concern is if you take the money away. I get why the president wants to do that. And it's less about New York to me than it is about taxpayers around the country who got to send their good money into New York. And that's why he says good money after bad. It's good taxpayer money. You send it to a place that's so messed up. Why should a taxpayer in any other part of the country have to do that? The problem maybe, though, is if Mamdani wins and Trump cuts funding, then Mamdani has an excuse for failure. He says, look, I came in to do my job, but you guys took away $7 billion of funding. I would have kept the streets safer. Your groceries would have been cheaper. Your rent would have been better. But the president deprived us of the funds, and we couldn't.
It's all Trump's fault.
So now, does that work? I don't know. But I would see him looking for that as a scapegoat.
But it'd be such a joke because while he was doing that, he'd be socializing grocery stores. He would be raising taxes. He would be doing all the really dumb stuff. He promised defunding the police. By the way, they don't call it defunding the police anymore. You know, there's all these euphemisms for it. You know, let's get social workers out there. Let's, let's not do stop and frisk. Let's, let's bail reform. That's another one.
Reimagine policing.
Yeah,
reimagine.
That's what he would be doing. So it's going to be a tough sell to anybody, but maybe the most leftists in this country. And I really do think that Mamdani could be a teachable moment for children. They're children, these kids that are voting for him, even though they're probably above 18. A teachable moment, like, you're going to get screwed by this guy.
Right. But until
You
they
voted
feel
for
it.
Now you got to feel
It's
it.
an expensive teachable moment, and
It
we've
is.
had these teachable moments in the world.
Not for
many
me. I'll
times.
move.
Yeah.
We've had them, but somehow we don't learn from them. These experiments have failed, Lydia, yet here we are, and we're facing the real prospect that we're going to have to go through it again.
Yet again, it's so disappointing. When I think about cutting the funding, though, I'm kind of in the other camp. I understand where President Trump is coming from. He loves New York City. He's talked about his love and devotion to New York City. He doesn't want to see New York City go down the socialist path. But I worry about, and I think about the people that are here, all the voters across the rest of New York State that would suffer as a consequence.
But they
of
voted
losing
for
federal.
this.
Not all of them. Not all of them. And in fact, in
Most
New
of
York,
them did.
tap more right in the last election. I mean,
Yeah, the
so
teachable. Look, I think the teachable moment
I don't
is.
want to punish those people. I don't think that they deserve
just
to
a
be
little,
punished.
just a little right. I mean, listen. Here's
So what?
the
If
thing.
you just stay here, then you have to
This
suffer?
is a massive welfare state. No, you'll be if you're on welfare or that type of voter, you're going to be on welfare. I mean, that's going to happen. What will continue to happen? Why I disagree a little bit with Jackie when he says we haven't learned, is that we have learned, and that's why people are moving, and that's why businesses are moving. That's why J.P. Morgan has places and is setting up shop, or Goldman is setting up all these offices in Nevada and Texas, and J.P. Morgan as well.
Well, some of us have learned, right? But not all of us.
Not
I think
everybody.
a lot of these young
The
kids
teachers' unions haven't
touched
learned,
it.
but they deserve to go down with the ship.
I think that going down to the chip thing, with the ship thing, and also the teachable moment, those are very important. But the thing is, as the teachable moment is being taught, a lot of us live here, as you say, and we will be here while this is all happening. And to watch the economy fall apart is one thing. My real concern is, if I stick around in New York, if this man wins, is the crime situation.
Yeah, my
And if we
safety.
defund the police and throw Rikers Island with the jail open and let the prisoners loose, people are going to get killed. People are going to get pushed onto subway tracks.
that now.
There's going to be a lot of. It's going to be much more. It'll be
I know,
much
it
worse.
will be, but we
it won't be
do-
just people not having money. It'll be people getting
But
killed.
we do have that now. I mean,
It'll be even worse.
people get
That's my
thrown-
deeper
I know.
concern.
Listen,
Yeah.
agreed. But because Adams, at least in the last year, stepped up to the plate on this. He appointed Jessica Tisch as police commissioner.
much better.
And we're not seeing every day people getting thrown in front of the tracks, which we were seeing for
Oh,
a
yeah,
while.
very
there. So
often.
Yeah.
let's make no mistake about it. I mean, this is still a very dangerous city, and the crime stats don't tell it all. I mean, I keep getting these emails. Oh, crime is down. Okay, even if you believe the stats they send you, crime is down from the peak.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like saying after the Great Depression, just
Inflation's down from the peak, too.
It got better, when we're still in the Great Depression, right?
Right.
But we got better between 1938, instead of 1932, but we're still in the Great Depression, and so that's one thing. And the other thing is these numbers are fugazi. People don't report crimes.
yeah.
Some crimes aren't even crimes anymore. So
That's right.
who knows?
A tourist this morning, I was walking to work, and she said to me, "Which way is Times Square?" And she was pointing the wrong way. I said, "It's the other way." And I said, "Be careful," because people are walking around with their head in sort of a fog here. New York is dangerous, to your point, and it's not something to be taken lightly.
Not at all.